Stop translating. Start thinking in English. Easy English podcast for beginners. Have you ever tried to speak English, but first thought about the sentence in your own language? Maybe someone asks you a simple question. What did you do today? And you know the answer. You know what you want to say. But suddenly, your brain starts working too hard. First, you think about the answer in your native language. Then you translate it into English. Then you check the grammar. Then you worry about pronunciation. And by the time you are ready to speak, the conversation has already moved on. If this happens to you, don't worry. You are not bad at English. You are simply using a method that makes speaking much harder than it needs to be. Welcome to today's Easy English podcast. Today, we are going to talk about one of the biggest secrets to speaking English more naturally. Stop translating. Start thinking in English. And don't worry. I'm not going to ask you to suddenly think in complicated English. You don't need thousands of vocabulary words. You don't need perfect grammar. And you definitely don't need to sound like a native speaker tomorrow. You just need to train your brain in a different way. So relax. Listen carefully. And if you can, speak along with me. Let's begin. Imagine you are sitting in a cafe. You see a cup of coffee in front of you. Instead of thinking in your native language and then translating, simply think. Coffee. Look at the cup and think. Coffee. Now imagine you pick it up. Think, I'm drinking coffee. You don't need to translate the sentence. You simply connect the idea with the English words. This is the beginning of thinking in English. It may sound very simple, but simple is exactly what we want. When you learn a new language, your brain needs to create direct connections. For example, when you see a dog, you probably don't think about the word in your native language first. You simply see the animal and understand what it is. Now you want to build the same kind of connection with English. You see the dog. Dog. You see the door. Door. You feel tired. I'm tired. You feel hungry. I'm hungry. You want water. I want some water. This is how you begin. Not with complicated grammar. Not with long vocabulary lists. But with simple thoughts. Let's practice together. I'll give you a situation. Imagine you have just woken up. You open your eyes. What can you think in English? You can say, I'm awake. Then you look at the time. It's 7 o'clock. You get out of bed. I'm getting up. You walk to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom. You wash your face. I'm washing my face. You look in the mirror. I look tired. You smile. I feel good. Notice something important. None of these sentences are difficult. You already know many of these words. The problem is not always vocabulary. The problem is speed. Your brain is used to thinking in one language. So when you suddenly need English, it tries to translate everything. We need to change that habit slowly. Think of your brain like a road. If you always travel from your native language to English, that road becomes familiar. But there is another road. The road from an idea directly to English. At first, that road may feel small and uncomfortable. But every time you use it, it becomes stronger. And eventually, English becomes faster. Let's take a very common example. Someone asks, how are you? The beginner might think, what is the correct answer? Then they translate. Then they worry. But you don't need a complicated answer. You can simply say, I'm good. Or, I'm doing well. Or, I'm a little tired today. That's enough. Now let's make it slightly more natural. Imagine your friend asks, how was your morning? You can say, it was good. What did you have for breakfast? I had eggs and toast. Did you drink coffee? Yes, I did. That is English conversation. Simple, natural, and useful. You don't need to create perfect sentences in your head before speaking. You need to communicate. That is the real goal. So, from today, try something different. Don't wait until you know enough English. Start thinking with the English you already know. If you see your phone, think, my phone. If you pick it up, I'm checking my phone. If you receive a message, I got a message. If you need to answer, I need to reply. If you are busy, I'm busy right now. If you have free time, I have some free time. These tiny thoughts may seem unimportant, but they are powerful. Because you are teaching your brain. I can use English without translating everything. And that is exactly what we want. Remember, you don't have to think in perfect English. You just have to start thinking in simple English. In the next part, we are going to practice this with everyday situations, from waking up in the morning to going outside, shopping, eating, and talking to people. So stay with me. And remember one sentence. Don't translate every thought. Connect the thought directly to English. Think in English during your daily life. Now let's take this idea and bring it into your real life. Because the best place to practice English is not always a classroom. It is your everyday life. You can practice English while you are getting dressed, making breakfast, walking outside, using your phone, or even cleaning your room. You don't need special equipment. You don't need a teacher standing beside you. You just need to notice what you are doing and describe it in simple English. Let's imagine it is morning. You wake up. Instead of reaching for your native language, start with English. Think, I'm awake. I'm still tired. I need 5 more minutes. I have to get up. Now you get out of bed. I'm getting up. You open the curtains. It's sunny today. It's cloudy today. Maybe it is raining. You can think, it's raining outside. You walk to the bathroom. I need to brush my teeth. You brush your teeth. I'm brushing my teeth. You wash your face. The water is cold. These sentences are extremely simple. And that's the point. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are training your brain. Now you go to the kitchen. You open the refrigerator. What do I have? Maybe I'll make some eggs. I need some bread. I want coffee. You start making breakfast. I'm cooking breakfast. The eggs are ready. I'm making coffee. Breakfast smells good. Do you see what is happening? You are turning your daily actions into English practice. And you can do this all day. Imagine you are getting ready to leave your house. You look for your keys. Where are my keys? You find them. Here they are. You pick up your phone. I have my phone. You check your bag. I have everything. You put on your shoes. I'm ready to go. You open the door. Let's go. That's English thinking. You don't need to translate these sentences. You simply see the situation and connect it to English. Now imagine you are walking outside. Look around. What do you see? A car? Think, there's a car. A bus? There's a bus. The person? There's a man. There's a woman. There are 2 people. Maybe you see a store. That store is busy. Maybe you see a restaurant. It looks nice. Maybe you see a dog. That dog is cute. You are building connections between the world around you and English. And this is one of the easiest ways to practice. Now let's talk about shopping. Imagine you enter a supermarket. You need milk. Think, I need milk. You walk toward the refrigerator. Where is the milk? You find it. Here it is. You check the price. It's $5. That's expensive. That's a good price. You put it in your basket. I'll take this. Maybe you need bread too. I need some bread. Then you walk to the checkout. Is this line open? You pay. Can I pay by card? The cashier says, have a nice day. You can answer, you too. That's it. Real English. Useful English. English you can actually use. Now let's practice another situation. Imagine you are at a coffee shop. You walk inside. You look at the menu. I want a coffee. Maybe you want something more specific. Can I get a small coffee, please? The person asks, would you like milk? You say, yes, please. Or, no, thank you. They ask, anything else? You say, no, that's all. But, how much is it? You pay. Thank you. And when you leave, have a good day. These are small sentences. But if you practice them again and again, they become automatic. And automatic English is what you want. You don't want to stop every few seconds and think about grammar. You want your brain to recognize the situation and produce the sentence naturally. Now here is an important rule. Don't translate every single word. For example, if you want to say, I'm hungry, don't think about the word for hungry in your native language. Just connect the feeling in your stomach with, I'm hungry. If you are thirsty, I'm thirsty. If you are tired, I'm tired. If you are cold, I'm cold. If you are happy, I'm happy. If you are nervous, I'm nervous. This is how children learn language. They experience something, hear a word, and connect the word with the experience. You can use the same idea as an adult. Now, let's do a quick exercise together. I will describe a situation. You think in English. Imagine you are sitting at home. Your phone is on the table. You want to use it. What do you think? I need my phone. You pick it up. I'm checking my phone. You see a message. I have a message. You read it. It's from my friend. You want to answer. I'll reply later. Now you feel hungry. I'm hungry. You go to the kitchen. I need something to eat. You open the refrigerator. Let's see what we have. You find some food. That looks good. You prepare it. I'm making lunch. You sit down. Lunch is ready. You eat. This is delicious. Look at how much English you just practiced. And you didn't need a textbook. You didn't need complicated grammar. You simply described your life. So today, try this challenge. For the next 10 minutes, choose one activity. Maybe you are cooking. Maybe you are cleaning. Maybe you are walking. Maybe you are getting ready for bed. And describe everything you do in simple English. If you don't know a word, don't panic. Use an easier word. You don't need perfect English. You need communication. And every simple sentence you think in English makes that road in your brain a little stronger. The goal is not to think in English all day immediately. The goal is to create small moments where English becomes automatic. Start with 1 minute, then 5 minutes, then 10. And slowly, you will notice something amazing. English will stop feeling like something you translate and start feeling like something you understand. In the next part, we'll practice how to stop translating when you are actually speaking with another person and how to answer faster without getting stuck. Speak without translating. Now you understand the most important idea. If you want to speak English more naturally, you need to practice thinking in English. But there is one more problem we need to solve. What happens when someone is standing in front of you and asking you a question? This is where many English learners freeze. You understand the question. You know some English. But suddenly, your brain becomes completely empty. Someone asks, "What did you do yesterday?" And you start thinking, how do I say this? What is the correct grammar? Is this sentence correct? What if I make a mistake? And while you are thinking about all of this, you become nervous. So today, let's change that. First, remember this. You do not need to answer immediately with a perfect sentence. You can take a moment. You can say, let me think. Well, let me see. I'm not sure, but these phrases give your brain time. For example, what did you do yesterday? You can say, well, let me think. I stayed home and watched a movie. Simple. Natural. You didn't need a perfect answer. You just needed to communicate. Now let's practice some common questions. Imagine someone asks, what do you do? You can answer, I work from home. I'm a student. I work in an office. Next question. Where do you live? You can say, I live in a small town. I live near the city. What do you do in your free time? You can say, I like watching movies. I enjoy listening to music. I usually go for a walk. I like spending time with my family. These are simple answers. But simple English is powerful English. Now let's practice a short conversation. I'll be person A. You are person B. Ready? Hi. How are you today? Pause for a moment. Think in English. You could say, I'm doing well, thanks. How about you? What are you doing today? Maybe you can say, I'm working today. I'm going shopping. I'm staying home. What did you have for breakfast? Maybe. I had eggs and toast. I had cereal and coffee. What are you going to do tonight? You could say, I'm going to relax at home. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to meet a friend. That's a conversation. Notice something. You didn't need complicated vocabulary. You didn't need advanced grammar. You just needed simple words connected to your real life. Now here is one of the best exercises you can do every day. It is called the 5-second rule. When you hear a simple question in English, try to answer within 5 seconds. Don't search for the perfect sentence. Just speak. If someone asks, "What's your favorite food?" say the first simple answer that comes to your mind. "I love pizza." If they ask, "What kind of music do you like?" "I like pop music." If they ask, "What did you do this morning?" "I had breakfast and went to work." Don't stop yourself. Don't translate every word. Don't try to make your answer perfect. Just speak. Because fluency is not about knowing every word. Fluency is about using the words you already know without being afraid. And please remember something very important. Making mistakes is normal. You will make mistakes. Everyone does. Sometimes your grammar will be wrong. Sometimes you will forget a word. Sometimes you will pronounce something incorrectly. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are practicing. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. You didn't learn by reading about bicycles. You learned by getting on the bicycle. Maybe you fell. Maybe you lost your balance. But you continued. English is the same. You have to use it. You have to make mistakes. You have to try again. And eventually, something changes. You stop thinking so much. You stop translating every sentence. You start recognizing English automatically. Someone asks a question. You understand it. You answer. And you don't even realize how quickly you did it. That is the moment you are looking for. So let's create a simple daily routine. You only need 10 minutes. For the first 2 minutes, look around your room and name things in English. Chair, table, window, phone, computer. For the next 3 minutes, describe what you are doing. I'm sitting down. I'm drinking water. I'm checking my phone. I'm listening to a podcast. For the next 3 minutes, talk about your day. Today I woke up early. I had breakfast. I went to work. I talked to my friend. I came home. And for the final 2 minutes, ask yourself questions. What am I doing? What did I do today? What will I do tomorrow? What do I want to learn? Answer yourself in English. It may feel strange at first. That's okay. You are training your brain. And if you do this every day, even for 10 minutes, you will slowly become faster. Remember the 3 steps. See it. Think it. Say it. You see your coffee. Coffee. I want coffee. You say, I want some coffee. You see the rain. Rain. It's raining. You say, it's raining outside. You see your friend. Friend. I want to talk to my friend. You say, I want to talk to my friend. This is how you build the connection. And remember, don't wait until your English is perfect before you start speaking. Speak now. Use the English you already know. Start small. Start slowly. Start today. 1 word. 1 sentence. 1 thought. 1 conversation at a time. And one day, you will notice something beautiful. You will be walking down the street, looking around, and thinking in English without trying. You will hear a question and answer without translating. You will understand English faster. And most importantly, you will feel less afraid. So, before we finish today's podcast, I want you to repeat 1 final sentence with me. I don't need perfect English. I just need to keep practicing. I don't need perfect English. I just need to keep practicing. And 1 more. I can think in English. I can speak in English. I'm getting better every day. Keep practicing. Keep listening. Keep speaking. And don't be afraid of mistakes. Because every sentence you speak today is helping you build the English-speaking version of yourself. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed this lesson, come back tomorrow and practice again. Remember, stop translating. Start thinking. Start speaking. And little by little, English will become natural.